Hello my friends, I'm Bee and this is Bee's Intuition. Today we're going to do a reading about who's plotting on you. Really it's just like who's making plans about you or making plans around you, I guess. But I feel like saying who's plotting, that sounds a bit more dramatic. I like the dramatics. Anyways, let's just dive right in, shall we? Okay, please and thank you, Spirit. Who's plotting? Who is plotting on the collective right now? Please and thank you, Spirit. Who's plotting? Who's making plans when it comes to the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. And what are those plans? Let's get the scoop. Let's get that scoopity-doopity. Scoopity-doopity-doo. Anything else? Thank you, Spirit. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Thank you so much. Let's see what that one is. Hold on. Okay. So what we have the Page of Wands, Three of Swords, the World card, and then we have the Six of Cups, and bottom of the deck we have the Page of Pentacles. There might be two new people in your energy. Very interesting. Let's start out with that Page of Wands and see what that's all about. Please and thank you, Spirit. Can you clarify that Page of Wands? Who is this? Who is this that's plotting on the collective? Y'all want to see the first card that came out? I can't make this up. We're clarifying the Page of Wands. Spirit's like, Page of Wands? Page of Wands? Huh? Page of Wands? So this is definitely somebody new. Somebody that is very intrigued by you. They love your energy. They are youthful and optimistic. They could be younger than you. That's probably a higher likelihood because they are the Page. They also could just be somebody that's new to your life, somebody that you don't know super well yet, someone that you'll have to develop a relationship with. Anything else about that Page of Wands? Please and thank you, Spirit. Who is this plotting? And what are they plotting? Oh. So I guess this flipped over in the deck and I didn't see it until now, but Queen of Wands, that's your energy, baby. So this Page of Wands feels like they have some commonalities with you. You're both driven by passion, but I feel like, am I out of frame? No, I'm not. Okay. Just sometimes it feels like I am. Anyways. You know what? I'm gonna just put you ever so slightly down to soothe my paranoia. Anyways. I was just hoping that wasn't bird poop. A stick, I'll take that. Anyways, speaking of sticks, y'all in the Wands energy with this one. So they have passion towards you. I think that there is definitely attraction taking place here. And it's because of this energy that you're showing up in, which is confident, very driven, very passion driven. You're passionate, but you're not afraid of your own passion. Like, this is somebody that owns their passion. You don't feel bad for the things that you're passionate about. You're also probably very authentic to who you are. You're not somebody to really go with what everybody else is doing. You stand out in some way. You may also just kind of radiate this type of warmth from you that is very loving, very bright. very inviting. Anything else about this Page of Wands that we need to know? Interesting. 3 of Swords. But the way that 3 of Swords came out, on top of the Queen of Wands, you may have your guard up around this person, this Page of Wands. I almost wonder if you think, okay, they're on a different level than me. It's going to take them some time to, get up to that level. You may even be one of those kinds of people where it's like, oh, I don't want to go through the whole process of getting to know someone just for it to not work out. And so maybe you might be a little bit closed off, especially in matters of the heart. Or maybe in general, because the 3 of Swords, sometimes I see it as like, not just like heartbreak, but also like just multiple areas of life having difficulty. Or being hurt in multiple different ways or in multiple different parts of life. But also, to me, it's hitting me more so as like you have experienced heartbreak too many times, and so I think that you may be a little bit guarded during this time, or at least that's what the Page of Wands sees with you. You having your guard up to them, maybe. And I don't even know if it's really about that Page of Wands. It feels like more so. Like it's about your past, and maybe this person reflects certain patterns of people from your past, or shows certain types of behavior that you connect to past heartbreak. Also, if there is an age difference, you could just be like, this person's probably too immature, or they're not experienced enough with life. But I feel like, especially because they came through with that very powerful double confirmation of the Page of Wands, I feel like this is somebody that could very quickly become a King of Wands. Because there's something certain about this person. This person knows who they are. They know what they stand for, and I feel like that's your energy as well. They know that they're driven by their passion. They let their passion drive them. Yeah, they're very intense with their energy, so I don't know. Maybe it's simply right now they're a Page of Wands because you don't know them well enough yet. But with time, I think they could easily become a 10 of Wands, no, King of Wands. And that would be the type of person that would be on your level. It may just take some time and investment. Let me see what's at the bottom of the deck. Oh, the Hierophant. They could definitely see you as somebody who knows what they're talking about, somebody that's skilled at what they do. You also may have like spiritual wisdom. You could be seen by this person to be like the go-to person, like when things aren't working out or when people need advice or anything along those lines. They see that you are the person that people go to. It's like they're attracted to your maturity and your knowledge. I'm curious what's underneath that. 7 of Wands. Oh, so this person's about to step up to the plate to show you that they are very interested. They're fighting for something here. Even if you are guarded, they think it's worth it to break down your walls to see if this can go anywhere. And with the Hierophant, like, not only can this mean the messages I was getting, but this can also be a card of marriage or long-term commitment. And so I wonder if that's what this person also sees with you. Like the two of you have good compatibility, maybe a lot of things in common. They could see you as a very good potential future spouse, somebody that they could build a life with, and that's why they feel so drawn to you, why they feel so passionately towards you. And maybe maybe they even find it strange if they don't know you super well. It's like, why do I feel this powerful draw to the collective? Like, why do I feel like pulled towards the collective? They may not totally understand it themselves. They just know that what you have going on is something that they would love to be a part of. I don't see this person showing any toxic traits. I feel like, if anything, they would want to add to your life instead of taking anything from it, because I think that they really admire like who you are, and like what you're doing here on earth, what your purpose is. And so yeah, I don't think that this is somebody that's going to be self-focused in a relationship. They would want to add to you building something, perhaps. Anything else that we should know about this Page of Wands, please, in the Spirit? Is there anything else? Okay, that's a stack. I don't think we're gonna take that. I'm just gonna look at the top one that came out. Three of Wands there. So this is somebody that is planning on coming towards you very soon. They're looking for the right opportunity. Definitely feels like maybe they're waiting for you to be in the right sort of environment for them to approach you or communicate with you. I was about to shuffle again. Bottom of the deck, 10 of Pentacles. They could see the two of you becoming a power couple. They could see the two of you building like a very strong foundation, happy home, happy life. Like, you could have it all together, really. Definite power couple vibes. So I think I'm right. I think I'm right about that Page of Wands. I think that this is a Page of Wands that may be kind of, I think it's a King of Wands in disguise. And it's like, maybe your hesitance is like, do I really want to get to know someone and be let down, disappointed? It's like, the whole process of dating is just like, ugh, you know? But I think that this person is just showing up as a page right now because you don't know them super well. And so it's like that natural part of getting to know someone, that natural part of dating, that natural part of, like, you know, all of that. It's like, once you get to know this person, and once you see, I almost feel like once you see how stable this person is, how maybe confident and fiery they are, you may realize, wait a second, I think this is a King of Wands. I just need to get to know them to see that they are that King of Wands. Because I think that they're more on your level than you realize. And maybe that, you know, a big blockage could be that, you know, if you see this person as younger than you could be like, but are they experienced enough? Like, are they, you know, have they experienced enough life to kind of get my sort of experience, or how I am the way that I am? But I think that they are very experienced, because that confidence that they're coming through with, I think, is like the confidence you build through building or living life. Because it feels very much like not just confidence, but the confidence that comes from within. You know, it's like that confidence that comes with experience. Like, I've overcome a lot, and I know I can overcome this situation and any situation that kind of comes my way. And that would even go very well with that Seven of Wands that we saw at the bottom of the deck before. Interesting. Because it's like, this is somebody that knows what they want, knows what they like, knows what they want, and they are not afraid to show that. They're not afraid to fight for that. I feel like that could be something that opens your eyes as well. Because maybe you're expecting this person to just like, at the first sign of difficulty, you're expecting this person to give up. But I think that this is the type of person that probably would keep going or try a different formula, try a different sort of way of doing things. Oh, that was a beautiful blue bird. Wow. Very bright blue, reddish chest, but pretty small. It looks almost like the size of a sparrow. I'm gonna have to look that up later because that was a beautiful birdie. Oh, and there's two birdies over here chasing each other. Definitely a playful partnership. Could the two of you have a cute little playful banter? Little playful bringing out your inner children? Feeling safe enough to do that? That's what they are here for. I think that's also why they came in such a strong Page of Wands energy. I think that, oh, this is actually really sweet. I think that they are going to, ooh, what's this one? This one's a more grayish version of the other one I saw. So I wonder if this is the female to that maybe brighter male. She's playing hard to get. She's in view of him, but not really looking in his direction. Okay, I think this is way too coincidental to be a coincidence. Like, it seems a little too fitting to this part of the reading. So I think, are you playing hard to get? So first off, that playful energy, I think, could definitely be a sign here. Also, there's like this beetle or insect that I keep seeing that like has a turquoise, reflective, like chromey kind of appearance. It's like very teal, or yeah, it's like a mixture between blue and green. It's very beautiful. I don't know why, but maybe that's like this person's favorite color or something. Maybe your favorite color. But let me think. So I think that the reason why they're showing up in that Page of Wands energy, this could be like some sort of divinely guided connection, because it almost feels like they're coming into your life for a purpose. And I feel like maybe you've been a little bit too serious. And, you know, no offense to you, because we all have things going on in our lives to, you know, add to our behaviors and why we act the way that we do. But it's like they want to maybe show you how to get more in touch with your inner child, feel safe enough to access your inner child with another person, and kind of like how to loosen up a little bit. No offense to you if you oh, okay, maybe that one was bright blue too. It looked muted colors before, but anyways, yeah, I feel like almost like this character's kind of showing up, and it could be like the divine, you know, kind of bringing the two of you together, because it feels almost like you need to loosen up a little bit or need to have fun again. You could be feeling very serious, very like there's no time for fun, there's no time for games. I have to be very serious and very focused, and you know, all those are good qualities and traits, but everything is healthy in balance, you know. And if you're giving too much of one thing, the scales need to be balanced out, because you're gonna burn yourself out, or you know, something along those lines. I feel like this person is coming in to kind of show you how to loosen up, how to, you know, find fun again, you know. But the message I was getting with that bird, like being in view of the male bird, and like she wasn't even looking at him, she was like looking the opposite way. You could be trying to play hard to get, or maybe like you're aware that this person's watching you, and maybe you kind of like that a little bit, and you're just like, yeah, whatever. You know, like trying to act so unbothered, but like secretly you're kind of like, you like what you see? Or maybe like the attention this person gives you could be a little bit like, you know, a boost to the ego, you know. And, you know, we talk about the ego like it's a bad thing, but sometimes it's nice to have that little boost, like, damn, I still got it. Okay. So I think those messages definitely came through for a reason. This person does see you, though. They see you doing something, or they just see you living your life, and they're very drawn to you. Yeah. And it's interesting, too, that when I was seeing, like, the bird that was closer as the female, and then the male bird being in the distance, he hasn't moved from his spot. And so, you know, if it was the case of, like, you know, him trying to find a mate, he wasn't trying to, like, invade the female's personal bubble space. Because birds that I've seen kind of do that, you know, when it comes to like mating and stuff, is like pigeons. I've noticed that, you know, the male pigeons kind of like, you know, they try to really show off in front of the girl pigeon, and the girl pigeon's just like, whatever, and tries to walk away, and then the male pigeon pursues. But this bird couple in this storyline, the male kind of kept his distance, and almost it made me feel like this sense of like respect for your personal space, respect for your personal comfort. Like, this is somebody that's not going to want to cross any boundaries. They're not going to want to be inappropriate. They're not going to want to intimidate you. They're not going to want to approach you if that's not what you want. It feels like very much like somebody that's kind of reading your energy, and it's like they go according to like, do they seem open for a conversation? Do they want me to express feelings to them? Kind of like going off of what your energy says and where you're at, and like what are you comfortable with. So this feels like a very non-selfish person, which I like. And it, you know, that kind of makes sense too with the Page of Wands, because it's like, this feels like somebody that would be humble. You know, they're not going to be so, you know, they're not going to desire you so much that they throw like their morals out the window, or like, you know, that they think that they're just like the hottest thing ever, and it's like, oh, clearly the collective wants me, let me go over to the collective and they can tell me how much they want me or whatever. Like, they have a humbleness to them, I think. They don't have this overactive ego. And that could also be kind of why they're showing up in that Page of Wands energy, is they don't want to give that impression that they're ego-based or completely ego-driven. Yeah. Interesting energy. Okay, so I think that's all that's gonna come out for the Page of Wands. Let's go into this Three of Swords. Not the Three of Swords that clarified the Page of Wands, but this Three of Swords. But it definitely, oh my goodness, I can't talk. Definitely could be a continuation of the storyline. We'll see. Please and thank you, Spirit. Who is this Three of Swords, and what are they plotting? Please and thank you, Spirit. Let's see. Anything else about... Anything else about that? Okay, let's see. Okay, so what came out for... Okay, so quite a bit came out for this Three of Swords. So we have the Ten of Wands, the Hierophant, Page of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, Knight of Cups, the Moon, King of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, and then bottom of the deck, we have Four of Swords. Oh, how interesting. My first thought about the Ten of Wands was, oh, this is somebody that's putting in a lot of effort, or they see it as they need to put in a lot of effort in order to get you to lower your guard. But I'm actually now getting the message that this is someone who sees how much you do, like how much you have on your plate, how many responsibilities you try to balance, like how strong you are, how capable you are, how you try to make things look easy even if they're difficult. This person sees some sort of really deep truth about you. Like they see how hardworking you are. They see how you put in effort probably in every area of your life. And I feel like they're impressed by this, but they also feel like there's something here about how they kind of want to be a helping hand to what you have going on. They want to help ease this burden that you have. Interesting. Maybe they also just want to make life easier for you in some way. Make your journey easier. Interesting. The Hierophant. I feel almost like there's some sort of like deep understanding that someone has for you that I feel like most people miss. Most people don't see this part of you because it's almost like, yes, you show up in this powerful, confident energy. People go to you for advice, but I feel like this sense of like, they see you kind of putting on a brave face, I guess. Because it's like you don't like to show up as your battles, like your troubles. You try very hard to kind of put on this air of like, I have everything under control. Yes, I'm here for you if you need me. But it's almost like this person's wondering, who do you go to though? If everybody goes to you, then do you have somebody that you can go to? Which right now you may feel like it's mostly just yourself and spirit. But this person wants to come into your life to help you, to be a support to you. Like very unselfish energy I'm getting with this energy here. I like it. And I feel like this is going to touch you in some way, like this intention of theirs. And maybe at first you'll be skeptical, you know? Like, oh, you want to help me? That's what a lot of my exes said, you know, kind of thing. But like there's something genuine here because it's like you may feel at times like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders and they want to help ease that burden for you. I think there's a turkey vulture in the sky above me. So beautiful. Wow. I love when they glide like that. That's just so beautiful. Oh, and I think there's another one. They're so cute. Glide. There's something about gliding. Something gliding. Something that is easy. Something that becomes easy, that glides. Maybe they glide right into your life and you're like, who are you and where did you come from? They glide into your life. Or they want to help you glide through life, to make your life easier. Because they see how responsible you are, they see how you have so much going on, and it's like they truly care about like who's there for you though. And they want to be that person, I feel. And then that's followed by the Page of Pentacles. So it's like, yeah, this person wants to show up in any way they can to help you in some way. They may even want to help you financially, not necessarily, but maybe to build more stability, more abundance, more security in your own life. Wow. They really want to give to you in some way. And then the Queen of Swords, I feel like that may be you with your guard up a little bit towards this person. Like, okay, plenty of people have wanted to help me in life, but very few actually did anything good. But you, being in that Queen of Swords energy, nothing really gets past you. And so even if you're skeptical at first, even if you have your suspicions like, is this person for real? I feel like because they're coming from, oh my gosh, don't get emotional. How embarrassing. It is making me a little bit emotional though, because it's just such a sweet, innocent energy. Like it literally touches my heart so deeply, because like this is such a rare kind of person to find in the world. Somebody that just simply wants to support you, help you. I don't know. There's something about this that is really touching me. And because you're in that Queen of Swords energy, nothing really gets past you. But it's almost like you're going to quickly see that this person has pure intentions. And then after that Queen of Swords is the Knight of Cups. So I feel like they kind of present themselves as a Page of Pentacles maybe at first, and then they, or maybe it's not even that they move into the Knight of Cups, but you see them for what they truly are intending. I feel like this is almost through your intuition maybe. You can kind of gauge that this person's not just here to help you, that they have some real feelings for you that they would love to explore. I just don't know if they're going to be very open about that at first, because maybe they don't want to scare you off, or they don't want you to think that they have some sort of hidden agenda, or that they're trying to pressure you into anything. You also may kind of see, you may kind of see this person's heart for what it is and how pure it is. Oh my god, this is making me so emotional. But yeah, I think, oh my gosh, I think you're gonna see this person for, and it's interesting too, because the imagery, how this looks, it's like the Queen of Swords is looking at the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups is looking this way. Well, actually, I feel like both of you are very like forward focused and future focused. You both probably have plans for your futures, and you're probably very like determined and driven in that way. But also it's like, I don't know like how to explain this, but it's almost like when they don't realize you're watching them. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like they could be thinking like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna do this thing over here. The collective's not really seeing me do this thing over here, but you are, because you're so observant. You don't like to, well, maybe you do like to be surprised, but I feel like you don't like to be surprised in terms of like red flags. So I think you're gonna watch this person very closely. And why do I feel like this is somebody that may even do like charity work, somebody that like is not just nice to you, but nice to everyone in their life, you know, cares about maybe humanity, not just you, but like humanity. Like there's something about how this person is that you're going to observe, and you're going to be like, wait a second, I kind of like that. because at first I think you're going to be suspicious about this person, but then you're going to see how they behave around other people, I feel like. And they're showing up in that gentle, kind-hearted energy, not just for you, but for everyone in their life. And I feel like you're probably very similar. And so I think you're going to be like, ding, 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 I'm getting green flags. Because also maybe you're very, you know, although you're showing up as the Queen of Swords, I think that you probably have a very kind, loving heart. And that's why this Three of Swords energy is so, it was so impactful on you. Because you have a beautiful heart like this person, but you've been hurt many, many times. When you've tried to be in that open-hearted, pure-hearted energy, I feel. And then after that Knight of Cups, we have the Moon card. So the Moon card is really the unknown. You know, what is in the darkness that we don't see. There's also like the emotional part of it. There's that fear-based part of it. I almost feel like this, this is so interesting because I thought that these cards were coming out to explain one storyline, but each card that I pick up is giving me a different storyline that I originally assumed. Interesting. But I like that because it makes the tarot reading more interesting. So for one, there is a pathway in the Moon card, and there is that message with the Moon card of like, even though you're afraid, even though things aren't clear, just keep going on your path, and eventually things will become clear. It will become easier. Things will be revealed in time. And so I almost feel like you eventually open up to the idea of exploring something with this person. And to be clear, I think that this person who's now showing up in this part of the reading as the Page of Pentacles / Knight of Cups, I think that they are the same person that we saw before. Because the Three of Swords definitely connects these two, and I'm getting a very similar energy from this person. So I think this is the Page of Wands we saw earlier. Yeah, and so you may be very afraid. You may be like, I don't know where this is gonna go. I don't know if this is going to be successful. I don't know if this is a good investment or not. Your fears are probably bubbling up to the surface when it comes to this person, because like suddenly you see a way ahead. You see some like potential here that you want to explore, but you're so afraid of the unknowns. But I feel like this person will give you that courage that's necessary to keep going, to see where it leads to. And I feel like where it leads to is probably somewhere way more beautiful than you thought it would, or than you feared it would. Because I feel like it's the fear talking when you look at the future in a pessimistic way, especially when it comes to this person. But I think that this person's very aware of all of that. Also, the King of Pentacles follows that Moon card. And so that gives me this energy of like, okay, so you're pushing through those fears. You're pushing through those fears of the unknown. And maybe assumptions you have about how this is going to work out. You keep going, you keep your faith alive, that something that, you know, you're not being led astray, that this will end up in something positive or end up to be something really positive. And I feel like as you're doing that, you're going to see this person for who they truly are. I'm getting Beauty and the Beast in my mind. I would just say without the Stockholm Syndrome, this may be a sort of, that bird just took a butterfly, so the violence. It really wasn't that violent, but just surprising. Now, birds gotta eat too, even if it is butterfly. It was actually one of those morning cloak butterflies that it took. Interesting. Maybe there's some sort of message behind that. Could mean that they're fearless. This person's fearless. It's like they do what they gotta do. And that kind of goes perfectly with the King of Pentacles. I feel like the further you go along exploring things with this person or just getting to know them, what have you, you're going to see how incredibly stable they are, grounded. They're secure within themselves and in their life or what they do for work, their purpose here. They're very good at what they do. But there's also that humbleness, I feel. Also, the King of Pentacles, I hope I wasn't calling it the Knight, but the King of Pentacles is the only king that has that suit of armor on underneath his cloak. You know, as if to say, I've been through many battles, I'm not afraid to do more battles if necessary. And also that feeling of like, if need be, I can fight. And that kind of goes back to that fearless energy I was getting from this person with that bird and the butterfly. Because that bird was not afraid to go after what it wanted. Acted with a lot of, still going at it. Oh, the butterfly. The butterfly's still alive. And it's, this bird's like playing with it. Oh my god. I mean, circle of life, I guess, but damn. Kind of harsh. But there's something about instincts being triggered here. You could be afraid of being the butterfly. You don't want to be the butterfly in this situation. Or any situation, probably. You don't want to be played with. You don't want to be toyed with. And that kind of brings me back to that moon card message of like fear. That could be where you're fearing, or what you're fearing. Is like, this person's just going to play with you. But I feel like, again, that's something to do with fear. But yeah, there is like this fearlessness and this fighter spirit with this person. And I feel like you're going to be very, very similar. Because like the Queen of Swords is a tough cookie. So like, not only is this person a fighter, I think you're a fighter too. And I feel like, you know, it's going to be like real recognizes real, you know? You're going to get each other. I also feel like you're going to see how truly mature this person is. And that maybe they're more mature than their age. And maybe, you know, if that was a thing where it's like maybe they're a little bit younger than you, maybe you realize, okay, they're not as immature as I thought they would be. And they understand me when I thought that they wouldn't. But they also are experienced with that King of Pentacles energy. They're very experienced. And I feel like you're going to realize, like, this isn't their first rodeo. I feel also like this person could be very understanding about your fears when it comes to this connection. Also, the bowls on this King of Pentacles card is reminding me of Taurus, and Taurus is notorious for that strong-headed energy, that stubborn-headed energy. And so that makes me feel, please, Boogie, I don't know if you're a mosquito, but please don't eat me. What was my message I was getting with that? Oh, their stubbornness, I think, is going to actually translate into stability for you. I think that you're not used to having people that genuinely want to fight for you and genuinely want to overcome any obstacle in order to show you that they mean business. I feel like you probably are used to people giving up on you, or you're used to people, and maybe it's like something to do with your anxiety or your mental health. It's like you're afraid of showing that to people, especially partners potentially. But this person is completely unfazed by any sort of instability that you experience. And, you know, these fears that you have about pursuing this together. I think that this person is the type of person to stick through all of that because they know that this connection is worth sticking around for. Like, this is like somebody that's not going to be very easily scared off, especially not at the first sign of, like, you know, a bad mental health day, or, you know, some anxieties and some pessimistic thinking. Like, this is somebody that is going to stick with this. They're going to show you how much they mean business here and how mature they are, how grounded they are. Oh, that grounded part too. It's like they want to help you feel a sense of stability. Like, they are okay with being that shoulder to cry on. Like, they're very strong and they feel like they could support you. And then it's interesting how it ends with that 9 of Swords. That's a lot of anxiety and overthinking. At first I thought that was going to be this other person's energy, but now I'm realizing that maybe this is your energy. And it's really like the after effects of that 3 of Swords energy. You know, you've been hurt time and time again. And so those fears are going to be popping up like crazy, especially if you realize you have feelings for this person, which I think that you're going to, maybe you'll realize really quickly the more you get to know this person. Like, oh damn, I'm actually falling for this person. And instead of that being a beautiful, exciting thing for you, I think it's going to cause anxiety and fear and stress. And it's not even that this person's stressful, it's just the idea of letting another person in again. You're so used to things being in a cycle. You're so used to like your history repeating itself in terms of partners. But I think that this really is just fear-based, and I don't think that this is based in reality. I think this is more so like those unhealthy mindsets bubbling up, those beliefs you have about relationships that are coming from a healed place. They're going to be triggered by this person, but I feel like it's almost like a necessary purging, and it's very much, I think, a natural part of this process. It's like these fears are bubbling up to the surface so that you can sort of assess them and you know, kind of like feel them out and move through them to heal them. It's like it's necessary to kind of bring up those emotions so that you can kind of look them in the eye, so to speak, and, like, you know, figure out how to heal them and bring them out of your system. You know, it's like they're coming up so that you can release them consciously. Because I think right now they could be subconscious, and maybe you don't even quite realize they're there, but then this person comes in and they trigger that for you. You could also very much overthink this whole situation. Like, what if I'm a fool? What if they're just playing me? What if, you know, there's a lot of what ifs here that I feel like you're going to be very stressed out about. But again, I don't think it's really based in reality. I think it's mostly mental. And then those mental thoughts that may be a bit pessimistic, it feels like those make you feel negative feelings. But again, it's not that you're genuinely feeling negative vibes from this person. It's that this person looks so good that you're so afraid for them, so afraid of them not being who they say they are, not who they appear to be. But again, I don't think that this is reality. I think this is really just that inner turmoil being triggered. Because you really don't want to open up your heart to another person if it's going to lead to that 3 of Swords energy again. I do think that you may be a little bit traumatized when it comes to love. And I feel like we all are to a degree, you know. I don't think any of us go through love or experience love without some pain, you know, unfortunately. But I think it's a part of life. And it's really up to us to fight those fears, to overcome them, to do our best to not let those things hold us back, so that we can live a full life and we can come into union with the people that are really meant for us. The Four of Swords at the bottom of the deck, I feel like this is you noticing this, you know, all this overthinking, anxiety about this person. You see how stuck in your head you are about this person, and how all of these thoughts, maybe even insecurities or thoughts you have about relationships, how they're all BS, or thoughts about love and how love's BS, or something like that, you know. And these aren't even things that you probably truly believe. It's more so just like the things that pop up, bubble up when we get triggered, you know. But the Four of Swords here, I think that's actually a good sign of you kind of being conscious. It's like you're observing yourself be in this sort of anxious energy, overthinking energy, but it's almost like you're able to sort of remove yourself from that and kind of see yourself being in that Nine of Swords energy, and you're like, that's, you know, you see that as maybe a bump in the road or an obstacle, or, you know, something that needs to be worked on. And that Four of Swords, I feel like, is really you taking the time to work on it. Four of Swords, that has a lot to do with like self-care, being self-focused, a lot of prayer, meditation. So it's like you're looking for guidance from spirit. You could be kind of pulling back your energy so that you are able to kind of so that you're able to get those messages from spirit more clearly. Also, like, kind of meditating on those beliefs of love that come from a unhealed place, and you're maybe analyzing, like, are these fears real, or am I repeating the same thoughts that I had before in the past, or am I assuming that the past is going to repeat itself even though I have no evidence that it will. There's like a lot of reflection, there's a lot of contemplation here. I feel like when you exit this Four of Swords energy, you're going to feel a lot better mentally about this connection. And maybe it'll just take that period of time to kind of, you know, meditate on it. Yeah. Let's see what's underneath that Four of Swords. Two of Pentacles, yeah. Your emotions could definitely go back and forth when it comes to this situation. I feel like you're going to question, is this person worth giving up my independence? And not in the way of like, not like true independence, but more so your singleness. Yeah. Like, I feel like you're the type of personality that probably would be independent even in a partnership. So I don't really see it as that sort of thing, but more so like, is this person, you know, worthy of my investment? Is this person who they say they are? Is this person going to help me build stability instead of adding to instability? Because you have those fears of the past repeating itself. But notice how the waves in the background are going up and down. I feel like that's how your emotions are probably going to be when it comes to this situation. Is like, maybe one day you're like, okay, this could be a really good thing, let's do it. And then maybe the next day you're like, wait. Maybe I'm rushing into this. Maybe I'm not thinking it through enough. Maybe I need to fully consider things first. And again, I'm being called back to that King of Pentacles. And not to say that this King of Pentacles will put up with like mind games and stuff, but if this person truly sees that you are actually struggling and you're not trying to like play games, You're not like just back and forth because you're not sure about your feelings for this person. I think this person's going to be very understanding and is going to be understanding of that back and forth that you are experiencing emotionally, because I think they realize that this is something that is more it's a little less conscious and maybe to some extent a little bit more out of your control, and they realize that because maybe you even have like mental health challenges, and maybe you have some sort of condition that kind of makes relationships very hard, very triggering. I think of BPD in particular, borderline personality disorder, but really any sort of mental health issue could really cause that like sense of like, am I being responsible here? Fluctuating emotions, being in and then being out, or doubting yourself throughout this process. I'm just gonna see what's underneath that Two of Pentacles out of curiosity. Six of Pentacles. Oh, you're not used to receiving. I think that this is going to trigger you as well, because you're gonna be receiving from this person in a way that's true and authentic and stabilizing. But maybe in the past, hi Springy. Oh, he ran away. He says, hey, this is my spot, but whatever. In the past, you probably experienced people giving to you with maybe a hidden agenda. They weren't, or maybe they were trying to love bomb you, or, distract you with gifts or something like that. And so I think that you're afraid of receiving from this person. But I feel like maybe this is a learning opportunity for you to kind of see that you have this fear of receiving and face that, so that you can move through it, move past it, and heal. It feels very much like that. Like it's almost like this person is meant to come into your life so that you finally realize that you are worthy of receiving, and receiving isn't scary. Receiving isn't a bad thing. All those types of mindsets you may have around receiving, and the potential of like feeling selfish, or like, oh, I'm the person that's supposed to be giving, which you're probably that person in like everybody's life, or like you have been. And so like this person wants to give to you for once, because I feel like this person sees that maybe you need a little bit of a helping hand. Maybe you need somebody to give to you for once, And so I think it could be triggering on that level as well, where it's like you're so used to giving. It's like suddenly this person wants to give to you, and you're like, what's the catch? I don't trust this. So this could even be like a lesson from spirit, it's like, hey, maybe it's time to open up to receiving. Maybe it's time for you to have a equal give and take, balanced relationship here, instead of the unequal relationships that you've experienced in the past. Okay, let's go into the World card. Please and thank you, Spirit. Who is this thinking about the collective? Who's plotting? Who's plotting on the collective with that World card? Please and thank you, Spirit. Who is this and what are they plotting? Who is this? What are they plotting? Who is this and what are they plotting? Please and thank you, Spirit. Who is this and why are they plotting? What are they plotting? Oop, okay, I'll take this. Oh my gosh, Spirit, you're so funny. So the World card, clarified by the Justice card coming out like this. So the World card, before I get into what the other cards are that came out, the World card is usually a indication of you completing a cycle and opening a new cycle. And this is typically a good thing. This is typically like you closing out those past cycles that may have kept you stuck or that didn't serve you. Those types of things. And then opening up a new cycle, which will be more enlightened, more part of your path to your higher self. So like, I feel like if this is a relationship here, because I feel like this is definitely going to be a continuation. I'm almost thinking that this whole reading could be about this one person in particular because the energy is so strong. But I feel like you could be closing out that cycle of being afraid of love, being suspicious of people loving you, suspicious of people that want to give to you, like all of those fears and stuff you have based off of your past experiences. I think you're closing out that cycle, and then I think that you're going to eventually open up to this person in terms of maybe a relationship. And then that's like a whole new cycle where you kind of get to explore, instead of like, what if this goes very, very wrong? It's like, let's see how good this can get. I feel like your mindset could even be shifting. Like when you're still kind of working through those fears and stuff, I feel like you're going to be, one way, but then it's like you come out the other side and you're like, you know what? Fuck it. Maybe this is my soulmate. Maybe this is how it's supposed to be. Let's just roll with it. And I feel like that trust in the universe, trust in spirit, trust in this path is going to lead you towards great change is what I got. Interesting. But then that justice card, especially with it coming out like this, it's like saying, hey, trust this new cycle because it will bring you justice. Justice is inevitable if you choose to open this new chapter, if you choose to open this new healthier cycle. The scales will be balanced. There will be truth and illumination on the truth, which is probably that this person has true, genuine intentions here. And then the other cards that came out for the World card, we have the Seven of Wands. So this person's going to show you every step of the way that they are not afraid to fight for this. And they think it's worth it. They think it's worth fighting for, Also, I feel like maybe they get you to start to think as well as like, this is all, like from your perspective, not just them thinking this is worth fighting for, but maybe you start to think that way too. The more you get to know this person, the more you see how genuine they are, how good of a connection this is. You start to maybe also feel like this is worth fighting for. And so maybe that gives you also the courage to overcome your own fears, your own triggers. Because I think deep down you do desire partnership. You do desire to come into union with your soulmate. But I think a lot of fear is what keeps you from that. Or maybe at the beginning it keeps you from that. But then you overcome that. And then the other cards that came out, we have the Four of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Strength card, Temperance, and then bottom of the deck, Six of Pentacles. Get ready to receive, baby. Also, like, how perfect is this? After you exit that Four of Swords energy, that meditation, reflection period, you come out of it the Queen of Pentacles. And who did we see this person as earlier? The King of Pentacles. So once you come out of that period of like a little, and it's not going to be very long, that period that you're isolating. I don't think it's going to be like you take like months and months or anything like that. Because it's kind of, I see the Four of Swords as more so like a mini hermit phase. But yeah, so after you leave that Four of Swords energy of like really reflecting on like, why is this connection triggering me so much? Am I just stuck in my head? Are these fears real? You come out feeling much more stable. You come out feeling much more grounded, much more confident, maybe in yourself and your surroundings, but also more confident in this connection. You see this for what it truly is and what it can be. And you feel much more confident going forward. But, you know, that's not to say that it's easy. The strength card here, I think it's going to take that inner strength. It's going to take that inner courage that I think that you have in abundance, to be honest. But, you know, doesn't mean it's going to be easy, you know, like, especially if this is something that triggers you. Especially if this is like something that brings up those fears that are based on your past experiences. But I think you're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to do what is necessary for this to be, or for this to come into union, and for that union to be healthy. Because it's like you realize, you're intelligent enough to realize that if you don't try to overcome your fears, you're never going to overcome your fears. You know, something simple as that, but it's true. Like, you have to choose to overcome your fears. Nobody can make you overcome your fears for you. You have to decide that yourself. And I think that's exactly what you're doing here. Because also I feel like you're stepping into this Queen of Pentacles energy because you realize that this person deserves you to be in your best energy, because they are in their best energy. You know what I mean? It's like you want to reflect back to them those good qualities and what they deserve, because you see how worthy they are. So it's like not just them seeing how worthy you are, but eventually you're going to see their worth too. And you're like, okay, this is worth fighting for. This is worth me trying to overcome my own insecurities, my own unhealed mindsets, ways of thinking, because this is worth it. And then Temperance, which is just a beautiful card for this context. I think that this connection is going to be incredibly healing for the both of you. Very spiritual. Maybe even healing for people outside of you. Hell, maybe this is even that kind of connection where it's like you give people that faith and love, you know, like, okay, real love does exist, because look at that couple over there. They're like so in love. But also there could be like some sort of like psychic connection, I want to say, and maybe this is just with time, like the two of you kind of have like your own inside jokes, and maybe like you can, like, eventually you get to this point where you understand each other so much that like you could just exchange a look from across the room, and you both kind of can read what the other's thinking in that sort of way, where it's like, you know, you don't really have to say anything, but you get each other in that way, where it's like, and then you both kind of look at each other like, I don't know. It's like really, you're gonna be like two peas in a pod, definitely, for sure. Also, the other part of the Temperance card, and also a part of the Strength card, is patience. I think you practice patience often. I think that this connection is going to require patience, but you're both in the perfect energy to be in that patient energy. You know, the earth signs, they can sometimes even get a reputation for being slow moving, but it's only because they like to plan things out. They like to think things out in advance. They don't like to just do things that are spontaneous or not well thought out. And you're both showing up in this earth sign energy with the King and Queen of Pentacles here. But yeah, this union is going to be very beautiful. You're going to feel like spirit brought the two of you together. You're going to feel eventually like two peas in a pod, because you're so similar and you probably get each other on like a really deep level. And it's like you're not just healing each other, but you're healing those who you come in contact with as well. Maybe it's even something like you become like one of those influencer couples, or maybe not influencer, but like you become kind of known for being a couple, maybe in the public eye or something. And then you're like kind of giving people faith and love, you know? It's like, I thought that love didn't exist, but now I saw the collective and their partner, and now I believe in love. So yeah, that's Six of Pentacles. I think you're gonna come around to being like, okay, I think it is time for me to receive. I think it's time for me to open up to receiving also realizing that you're worthy of receiving. That's what you're going to do. I want to see what's underneath that Six of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles again, yeah. Makes me think that, yes, so I think that's probably also why this is going to require a little bit of patience, is because you may still kind of go back and forth from time to time where you feel unworthy, or when you feel like suspicious, or, you know, those things kind of raise their ugly head, so to speak, every so often. I want to see what's underneath this Two of Pentacles. Knight of Wands. You know, it's interesting that Knight of Wands can sometimes be seen as like that player energy, but in this context, I feel like that is you taking on this I think the two of you have very similar energy. I think that's why I'm getting so confused, because this Knight of Wands, at first I was going to say it's probably you feeling like, you know, this is worth fighting for. This is worth overcoming those emotions that go back and forth, overcoming that indecisiveness, that feeling of being uncomfortable with receiving. This could be your energy of like, you know, no matter how hard it is for me to heal or to learn to receive, I will do it because this is worth it. Like that fiery, like, attitude of like, I may be scared shitless, but I'm still going for it, you know? And then on the other hand, this could be this person showing up in a way that shows that they are willing to step up to the plate. Whatever you need from them, you can get. So, you know, if you are feeling these back and forth emotions and confusion and whatnot about this, I think that this person is willing to be whatever you need them to be in order to support you in those moments. So it's like, if you need space, they're like, okay, I'll give you some space, that's fine. If you need a hug, they're like, I'm right here, baby. Hug away. You know, this, it's just like that all fired up energy where it's just like, I am ready to step up to the plate. And I feel like both of you are trying your best to do that. I feel like it's going to be more of a struggle on your end, but you know, maybe this person will also struggle in their own way too, because, you know, nobody experiences love without some sort of trauma, right? But there's just this willingness, and I feel like this is for both of you. Like, even if you're both scared, even if you're both unsure where this is going to go, I feel like you're both feeling that sense of passion, that draw to one another, and you both kind of recognize that this is worth facing those uncomfortable feelings. This is worth overcoming those insecurities and fears around love. Wow. I actually really love that energy. Let's go into the Six of Cups now and clarify that. Please and thank you, Spirit. Who is this plotting? What are they plotting? Please and thank you. What is this? The Six of Cups here. What's this Six of Cups trying to tell us? What's it trying to tell us? What is this Six of Cups trying to tell us, Spirit? Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Anything else for that Six of Cups? Please and thank you, Spirit. Anything else? Please and thank you. Okay. Ooh. Oh, interesting. So, clarifying that Six of Cups, we have the Ten of Swords. These two came out together. The Empress and the Two of Cups. Page of Cups, bottom of the deck. Nine of Cups. So Six of Cups, I think that that is actually describing how this is going to be healing for both of you in terms of your inner child. inner children, you know? This is going to be a safe space for that. The Ten of Swords being the first card to come out to clarify that is very interesting to me. There's something about ending who you used to be, and maybe that who you used to be was driven by fear or driven by a sense of being unlovable, you know, filled with anxiety about how this could go wrong. It's like you're putting that to an end. And this connection could help you do that. I almost feel like with that Ten of Swords, you've been in this place of like mental anguish and pain for too long. It's time for that to end now. You're ready to go into a new chapter of life in which you don't experience those fears and anxieties and overthinking and those pessimistic views of love. It's like those are being put to rest. Those are over and done with. And it almost feels like, in a sense, you're kind of laying the past to rest, so that, because with that Ten of Swords card, the sun is rising in the background. And that sun rising is there to show us that there's new hope on the horizon. A fresh start, a new beginning. And I feel like this is the kind of new beginning that is unlike any beginning you've ever had. And so it may be a little scary at first because it's like the uncharted waters, but it's like where you're meant to be. So it's like you're willing to like face those fears because you know that this is worth it in the end, or it will be. And then with that Empress card following that Ten of Swords, and that's why I feel like that Ten of Swords is indicating that something is coming to an end, but that is not a bad thing. I think that's almost necessary for you to show up in this Empress energy and maybe this Two of Cups energy, where you're actually open and honest about how you feel mutually for this person. Because this is going to be an equal give and take partnership. This is going to require both of you to be vulnerable. This is going to require both of you to be honest about your emotions and your feelings. And also very open and honest about your past experiences. You know, what is contributing to that fear? There is a plane flying above me right now. This person could be coming in towards you sooner than you realize. This could also be somebody that's not afraid to travel to you. Again, because you're worth it. Interesting. But also the interesting thing about the Empress showing up here is like, the Empress is known for being the partner to the Emperor. And so it gives me this feeling of like, although you have your own sense of confidence now and, you know, a certain amount of faith in yourself and all that stuff, it's almost like if you want to be the most confident version of yourself, if you want to be the most fulfilled version of yourself, the most abundant version of yourself, it's like this person helps you get to that point. And it's almost like it's a natural part of what your journey is supposed to look like. Like they are meant to come into your life in this timing, definitely divine timing at play here, so that you can become this Empress, so that you can be super confident, super abundant, super like, because I feel with the Empress, there's this sense of like her knowing that she's a baddie, you know? It's like she knows what she has going on. She knows that she is the prize, you know? She doesn't question that. So I feel like this person is going to make you feel like you're the prize. Anybody that, you know, fumbled this with you in the past. Is it flying over my head again? Yeah. Don't get lost, dude. I'm trying to do it right. How rude. Do they not know I'm doing a tarot reading for the YouTubes? The audacity. Anyways, it's almost like this person helps to unlock your highest form, like your most enlightened form, your most elevated form. And they're going to just reassure you, like, you are that bitch. Like, and I mean that in a good way. Like, you are a baddie. You are super hot, super abundant, super wise, super capable of anything and everything. And so it's like maybe you were already kind of telling yourself that through like positive affirmations and stuff, but it's like when you come into union with this person, it's like those positive affirmations that you were reciting to yourself, now you have somebody physically who is telling you those affirmations to yourself. Like, this is somebody that's not going to be afraid of saying how much they love you, how much they admire you, you know, how hot you are, how smart you are, how you have everything they could ask for and more. This person's gonna make you feel real good about yourself, and I feel like you're gonna be like, yes, I may be scared shitless, this may be uncharted territory, but I'm gonna go for it because this is special. There's something about this that is just meant to be. Like, I feel like it's going to be so clear after a certain point that this is your partner, like your soulmate, like your true life partner that you're supposed to be with. And it's based off of like how they're showing up for you. Also, it's interesting how the Six of Cups can also be a card of nostalgia, but it also can be a card of like looking back on the past. And since the Ten of Swords was the first to come out to clarify it, not this guy again. I have never had this many interruptions in my plane before. It's like they know I'm here and they want to make me angry. You're pushing my buttons, dude. Maybe this person likes to push your buttons, but it's maybe necessary. Yeah, maybe they... Do you know what I mean by that? Like, it's almost like... It's like pushing the buttons that you need to be pushed in order to grow, heal, evolve, overcome those fears. So at times, this person could be kind of annoying, but it's like they're annoying with a purpose, and it's really just for your ultimate good. So do you know what I mean? Like, because like I think that some people see love as like being like, okay, we just feed each other full of all these compliments. We never, you know, give each other constructive criticism. We never have difficult conversations, but that's not what true love is. True love is also holding each other accountable, calling each other out on our BS and our self-sabotaging ways, our unhealed tendencies, you know? And I feel like this is the type of person that's not going to try and just say what you want to hear. This is somebody that probably will say what you need to hear, you know, and especially in those moments of you doubting yourself, in those moments of you falling back into old patterns of behavior. This person will hold you accountable, you know, especially when it comes to, yeah, it's like, it's specifically, I feel like when you're falling back into self-sabotaging patterns of behavior, this person is going to really help you come out of that. They're going to encourage you to work through those things. They're going to be there for you while you work through those things. Yeah, it's not going to just be like full of like, oh my God, you're the greatest person ever. And that will be part of it for sure. But I think they're also going to have those uncomfortable conversations with you. But I think that that's something that maybe you crave to a certain extent. And that also shows how authentic this person is. They're not afraid of having those uncomfortable conversations that are necessary for each other's growth. And I almost feel like they expect the same back from you. Like if they're going and doing some self-sabotaging behavior, if they're back on their bullshit, they're gonna want you to hold them accountable for that. So, like I said earlier, that power couple vibe, I think that the two of you are going to be a power couple because of the way you are with each other. It's like you're not just telling each other what you want to hear, you're telling each other what you need to hear to become the best versions of yourself possible. Beautiful energy. I love that so much. And then the last card coming out is the Page of Cups. I think that that is you showing up with this person. And it feels like kind of like a baby step. Because it's like you realize that there's this new beginning that's possible here. And I think you're trying to kind of go back to that youthful optimism, you know, before the world kind of, and your love life, before it really got bad and made you question things. Because it's like you kind of have to wipe your slate clean in order for this to go anywhere. You know, you can't hold on to your past and this new chapter that you're going to have with this person. And I think you're both going to be on the same page with one another, especially if you're open with that communication. Communication, I think, will be key in all of this, for sure. But also, like, I feel you letting down your wall finally, and you saying, you know, I'm going to look at this, and I'm not going to try and assume that they're just like all my exes, you know? There's something about trusting in the magic of this connection. And maybe you're realizing, like, maybe it is a magical connection. I think that plane's coming back. I hear it. What does that mean? That's what I want to know. What is the spiritual significance of this plane coming back around and around and around? This person might like want to, might like to check up on you. Broski, what do you want? That's gotta be like a sign, because that's never happened to me before, where there's been a plane that's just been circling above my head for a long time. I feel like later when I'm editing this, I'll see what the point was to these events, like that plane. Because right now I can't really see the meaning of it, but I bet upon reflection I'll be able to gauge what it is a sign of, you know, spiritually. Like coming around again. I feel like this person likes to check up on you, so maybe they're like, when you're in those modes of self-isolation especially, they're like, hey, how you doing? You hanging in there? Do you need my help for anything? Or do you need some space? Or, you know. So it's like, I don't think you're ever going to be able to doubt this person's feelings for you and their intentions, because they are just so authentic and they care about you so thoroughly, like so deeply. And I think that eventually you're going to lean into this and be like, I may be scared. This may be a connection unlike anything I've experienced before, but that's a good thing. And I have faith that Spirit has guided me towards this person, and, you know, Spirit has guided them towards me for a reason. And I see you finally becoming open. Even if you're scared, even if this is uncharted territory, you're still realizing it's worth it, you know? And then at the bottom of the deck being that Nine of Cups, I think eventually you're going to realize that this is a wish fulfillment for you. This is the type of person that you've always longed to be with. And here they are. Also, you've probably been on your own for so long. Yeah, at first it may be uncomfortable, but I think ultimately you're going to see this for what it is, which is a blessing from Spirit. I want to see what's underneath that Nine of Cups. King of Cups. Yeah, this person is going to love you in ways that you've never been loved before. I'm just saying. King of Cups knows how to love someone. And it feels like this is the type of, these qualities are what you uncover the further you go along this path, the more you explore this option here. This person. It's like time passes and you start to see more and more wonderful things about this person and why they are the love of your life, pretty much. I want to see what's underneath the King of Cups, just out of curiosity. The Sun card, are you kidding me? I just remembered too, we had the Moon card earlier. So whatever was in the darkness is being brought to light. It will be illuminated, there will be clarity. And you're gonna be so freaking happy in this connection. This is going to provide you with so much happiness. And you know, I think I said it in a previous reading, you know, nobody can make you happy. You kind of have to choose happiness yourself, but people can add to your happiness, you know, as long as you're not completely dependent on another person to provide that for you. I feel like that's what this connection will be, though. It's like, it's not that this person is your happiness. It's like adding on top of your own happiness that you have built over a period of time. You have enough of a foundation now for this to come in and truly fulfill you. Past even, I feel like it's going to fulfill you past the point of fulfillment that you're used to or than you can even imagine. Because it is so special and so spiritual. This is just truly meant for you in the best way possible. And then there's that Page of Pentacles at the bottom of this deck. I think that's definitely going to be them trying to show you like, hey, I mean what I say. I'd like to invest with you. Let's see what's underneath that Page of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles. So yeah, there's a little bit of a closed off energy maybe from you. I want to see what's underneath that Four of Pentacles. Two of Wands. So it's like you may be a little bit closed off, but you've also kind of been hoping and planning to eventually meet your soulmate, but maybe you just didn't expect it to take this specific form. Because I think, like, something about the first impression, you may just kind of see this person all wrong. And I think that's understandable with your past being what it is. But, you know, this definitely could be it definitely could be a frick, what was the message? I lost it. Thanks, Plane, for distracting me. I think okay. So I think you're just not expecting it to take this specific form. And so I think this is going to be a lesson in like not judging a book by its cover, not jumping to assumptions too quickly. Yeah, it's I think this is going to teach both of you many lessons, but those are the main big ones I feel like from Spirit. It's like this is a good opportunity for you to really face those fears, to really overcome those insecurities, all of that was caused by your past experiences. Okay, let's break out the Oracle now and see what it has to add. Please and thank you, Spirit. Anything that you want to add to this reading? This beautiful reading for the collective? The collective that is about to meet their soulmate, pretty much. maybe this person's already in your life, but you just don't know that yet, or they haven't really made their presence known yet because they see you. I feel like they definitely see you. Maybe you're in the public eye in some way, or you just go to certain spots and they've been there when you were there. Maybe there was like certain environments they know you from, or situations or parties or social events. I'm not really getting a mutual friend energy, but that could be possible. Maybe you meet through a mutual friend. Okay. Anything else for this reading, please and thank you, Spirit? Okay. I don't think, yeah, Spirit doesn't want to make any of them pop out. So let's just go with what the bottom of the deck energy is, which this is the quail and gooseberry. This represents anticipation. So I honestly feel like you've been anticipating meeting your soulmate. This is actually really funny. You've been anticipating meeting your soulmate, but then all of a sudden your soulmate shows up and you're like, wait, am I ready? Wait, this isn't what I had in mind. Wait, this is the wrong timing. Wait, you know, I feel like you're gonna just be like, even though you've been like, you're probably like me and you're like, Spirit, I'm ready for my soulmate. And then it's like, here they come and you're like, Spirit, I'm ready for my soulmate. And it's like you completely just overlook this person or something. Or like, maybe you're just like, I don't believe this person's my soulmate, or I don't know. Or maybe you're like, no, I want my soulmate to be this, this, and this, but maybe this is who you truly need. And you just don't realize it in the first interaction or the first meeting. Like, I feel like it's definitely this, you may underestimate this person to a degree, and that's honestly okay, because like, again, you have your past experiences, they've left their mark, and we are in a society that very much judges people based off of appearances, based off of first impressions. They say that the first impression lasts the longest, so. But I feel like this has something to do with not judging a book by its cover. And I feel like this is really going to show you just how, like, pretty much I think you're going to come into this point where you're like, wow, I literally was so wrong about this person. Because maybe you think they're a player, maybe you think they're immature, maybe you think they won't understand you. Maybe you have two different aesthetics and you're like, there's no way this person's gonna understand where I come from, or, you know, why I do the things to my appearance that I do or something. Maybe cultural background differences, and you're like, oh, that just won't, you know, there'll be that conflict of like traditions or something. But no, I think that this is actually going to be a very smooth connection, as long as you are willing to go with it. It's like when you stop fighting it, it starts to go very smoothly. I'm just curious what's underneath the anticipation card. So this is the lizard and pitcher plant. This represents stagnation. So this plane, I'm usually like okay with outside noise because I'm outside, you know, it's bound to happen. But the fact that this plane literally has been circling me for so long, driving me a little bit insane. There's gotta be a purpose or a message behind that. I just am not picking it up yet. Monitoring spirits. So you may experience some sort of like somebody outside of you that may try to sabotage the connection, or kind of hovers around, kind of like lingers. Could be definitely an ex or somebody that like you have some sort of history with. Maybe there's like a toxic ex that you have that kind of just lingers because they know that you're moving on from them. Interesting. Maybe something like that. So we have that stagnation card. And for some reason that hits me as like, you feel like your love life is going nowhere. You feel like it's very stagnant, very boring. You're like, okay, Spirit, I'm ready for my soulmate. Just bring them in any day now. But it feels like even when Spirit brings this person into your life, you're going to be like, okay, Spirit, any day now, I need my soulmate. And this person's like, hey, I could be your soulmate. And you're just like, no, Spirit, where's my soulmate? You know, it's like almost like you're slightly blind to this person's potential at first, I think. Because I think you have a very specific, maybe you have a very specific person that you think is your soulmate, but this is not that person. And so therefore you overlook them because it's not the specific person you want. That could be a thing. But also on the other end, maybe you have a specific type in mind, or maybe you go for a specific type of person and this person doesn't fit that stereotype or that, type of character. And so you're like, that clearly cannot be my soulmate because that's not my type or whatever. But I feel like that is something that Spirit wants you to overcome. I'm gonna see what's underneath the stagnation card. I'm curious. So this is the Martin and Fox glove. This represents mischief. I think you're gonna think that this person is a mischievous little booger, you know? They're up to no good, you know? They're hiding something. This could also be your past experiences that have led you to feel like everybody that comes into my life is hiding something, and it's just a matter of time before I see their ugly side or something. But I really think that, again, it's something about judging a book by its cover, or this person being a little bit unassuming, easily overlooked. But it will become clear with time and getting to know this person that this person is truly meant for you. Wow. So that's the reading. I really hope that you enjoyed this. I'm going to try and finish this up before that plane comes back. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this. I really hope that it resonated. If it did resonate, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you subscribe, you can become part of the hive. Because my name is Bee. Bees live in hives, and you can become an honorary bee like me, and we can be a little bee family together. If you like my readings, if you'd like to see more, be sure to click that bell icon down below so that YouTube actually notifies you the next time I upload. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.